shooters will put their guns away, and it means that that night some badgers will be saved. And he said, well, the irresponsible shooters, I said they shouldn't have guns in the bloody first place. So what's the best outcome we've got from where we are in terms of the call? I'm going to read to you in a moment a report from the independent expert panel from last year recalling the death of one badger. It won't be very nice. When I last told people this in Colchester, people were crying, so I'll apologise in advance if that causes you to cry. But it's the reality of what actually happened. But the good thing about it is that we had, and I'm sure Pete will echo this, we had people from all walks of life, from across the whole country, coming to the cull areas, putting themselves out in the middle of the night in pouring rain, and some people came out every single night of the cull. They came out in the pouring rain and they worked together with various other groups and organisations and made a difference. And I don't know if anybody's here from the HSA. They get a bad press, unfortunately, too often, in my opinion. But as far as the HSA goes, I salute you.
Yeah, me too.
They do an excellent job. Bear with me, this is the badger that was shot several times. This is part of the independent expert panel. I know it's in 2013 this happened. We don't know what happened in 2014 because Mr. Patterson not only moved the goalpost, he took the referee away as well. So we ended up with a cull taking place with nobody monitoring it independently. So the chances are that what happened in 2013 probably was repeated in 2014, despite the fact the NFU tell us they train people to a greater level than they did in the first year. We don't think that's the case. We certainly picked a badger up that was shot inhumanely, and that badger went for private post-mortem. It cost us £1,000, but it's £1,000 well spent if it means we get evidence to show that they're still shooting badgers humanely. In the first year, something like 20% of the badgers shot were shot inhumanely. This is one of them. This is a situation where there's a shooter, a spotter, and an independent monitor on one side of a stream. They're 30 metres away from a badger. The badger's shot from 30 metres away. The badger sits up and tries to get away, but his back end is hanging down so it can't get away. 30 seconds later, it's shot again from 30 metres away. The badger's still there, lifting its head, trying to get away. To get to the badger across the stream, they've got to walk 300 metres downstream and go over a bridge and back up the other side to get to the badger they've just shot twice. So the spotter and the monitor start to walk down towards the bridge. The shooter's still on the other side of the stream at the moment. At 511 seconds after the first shot 4 that takes place. So the badger's now been shot 4 times from 30 metres. These are excellent, trained marksmen, high-powered rifles, state-of-the-art technology, night sights and everything else. But it's been shot 4 times from 30 metres. The badger's still alive and still trying to lift its head and get away. 539 seconds have passed by. The other people are still walking towards the badger. The shooter is still on the other side of the stream. In 539 seconds, shot 5 takes place. This badger's now been shot 5 times from 30 metres. And they're still alive. They're still trying to get away. Up until 600 seconds, this badger is still alive. Up until 700 seconds, this badger is still alive. By this time, the shooter started to walk down the river, down the stream, to get to the other side. It's 614 seconds, 10 minutes. The badger shot from close range by the shooter. At 870 seconds, 14 and a half minutes after the first shot, the badger is pronounced dead. That's the reality of what happens in some of the cases. We believe it could be 20%, so we're told from the independent expert panel. I can assure you it happens all the time, not just within the coal, but outside the coal. And one of the things that we're trying to get people to do, and we're going to be working with Gloucestershire on this and also Birders Against Wildlife Crime, we are trying to get all you merry people who enjoy walking in the countryside, who enjoy seeing the things that happen in the countryside in terms of the nice things, but to start looking and reporting the things that are not so nice. Record badger sets. Let us know what you find. Record suspicious activity. We're in a situation where our police forces are not performance measured for dealing with wildlife crime. It's a reportable offence, but there's no performance measure against this, the prosecution or the solution or the investigation into that crime. We need to get the Home Office to think twice. We need to get them to make wildlife crime a performance-related activity within the police. Then we might get some resources put behind it. But all I say to you is whatever you possibly can do. Chris talked about social media, write to your MPs, taking part in these sorts of activities. There's one again in Birmingham in the new year. Get up there, get out there, find out, make your voice known, talk to people, write to people, Twitter people, Facebook people, whatever you do. I'm not into social media. But make sure we don't let this problem go away. Because the one thing the government appear to be trying to do now is try to make it less of an issue than it was. And I suspect that's something to do with what might happen next May. But thank you all so very much for all those who came out. There's people here, I can see faces in the crowd that I recognise, that came out night after night after night in all winds and weathers. You came out, you put yourself in the front line, and you made the difference. And we can make the difference. Let's do it.
Yeah.